I finally found out who SA'd me. It was my brother all along. Me and my brother, whose name is Paul, have always been really close. I'm 18 and he is 23, but even with the age gap it's always been us. We'd never get called separately, it'd always be, go get the kids, or the kids want to do this, they want to do that. We were always together, even when I was a baby. He's my best friend, and I'd die for him. I say that so you don't think I just hate him, or I'm saying this just to say it. But on Saturday, he invited me to hang out with a couple of his friends. My 18th was Friday, and he's always wanted to be the one to take me to my first bar. We went out at around 7 p.m., and right when we got there they crowded me into a booth and we started drinking. I don't remember how much I had, and I don't remember when we left, but I know about 30 minutes in, things started to feel off. I was only on my first pint, but it felt like I did so much more and I've drank before, so I know how I should be responding by now, and I was definitely more drunk than I'd usually be. We left sometime after, and I know I was brought back home somehow. I can remember being helped up the porch steps. I don't remember anything else until I woke up the next day, and it felt like I'd been hit by a bus. I spent the entire morning on the toilet, and it was almost impossible to walk. It hurt so badly. It wasn't until evening when I could leave my room. I asked my brother what had happened last night, and he said we'd been at the pub then went home. I pressed him for more and he got snippy, saying I shouldn't have gotten plastered if I wanted every detail. I told him I couldn't remember shit, and he said it was my fault, and not his problem. I don't know why he was so agitated. We usually go on stellar with each other. But he left soon after and didn't talk to me the rest of the day. On Tuesday I realized I had bruises. I was showering, and they either hadn't formed last time or I didn't notice them, but this was the first time I'd seen them. They were on my wrists, hips, and the side of my neck, and I wouldn't have jumped to the conclusion I'd slept with someone that night if there weren't hickeys. They're on my thighs and around my stomach. There's no doubt what they are. Naturally I freaked out. I thought about telling my mom, but she didn't want me to go out with my brother that night in the first place, so I didn't want her to get upset with me. I went to my brother instead. I told him about the bruises, and he was going to kick me out of his room again. Then I told him about the hickeys and he immediately changed his mind. He seemed like he was hiding something. He got nervous, and asked to see. I showed him the ones I could, and he agreed after some hesitancy on what they were. I asked him what happened Saturday night again, and he blew up. He yelled to stop asking about that night, and said this had nothing to do with the pub and I'd probably gone out and done it myself after he got me home. He told me not to tell Mom about the bruises, and to stop treating him like he knew something, and to get out of his room. So I left and I told my mom. She didn't have much of a reaction. She didn't even seem surprised. She told me she was going to take my brother out on a drive and to stay home. They'd be back soon. They stayed out so late I fell asleep. I only saw my mom again in the morning. She woke me up and told me she loved me, she'd never let anyone hurt me, and she was sorry. I still don't know what she was apologizing for. I went to school, things were normal, but I didn't see my brother all day, and didn't know if things were normal or I'd got him in trouble. I sat my mom and brother down this morning and told them that I know they know something I don't. I wanted to know what happened that night. My mom started crying. She never cries. She yelled that my brother had to tell me before storming off to her room and slamming the door. I immediately asked my brother what she meant, and he got very nervous and accusatory. He said that this was all my fault, and Mom's upset because I had fucked up that night, and I should be thankful because my brother picked up the pieces like he always does. My family never acts like this. Definitely not my brother. I was so confused and I pressed him further. Then he started to tell me what happened.